Not another video on Squale and Seiko. Ugh, what is this? Urban Gentry circa 2016? You really should get a perpetual calendar, like moi. So as you know, I got scammed earlier this month. Later on a follow-up to that, but I took another gamble. This time it paid off big time. I uncovered a 70s gem from Seiko under $500 that you can still buy. So cue the 70s intro. Okay, hi guys, and welcome to the show. Now, if you'd like to continue seeing free and independent content, please do take a few seconds just to like this video. There's no paywalls here, and to make sure that I can devote as much time as possible to creating more of these videos, it's the best way to support the channel. Now, before I reveal today's absolute bargain, context is indeed king, and rather fitting pun, because this piece bears the same moving shadow-like logo, indicating it was manufactured in the Daini Seiko factory, birthplace of the King Seiko line. It's the more underrated of the two independently operating Seiko factories, the other being the revered Suwa Seiko, and this is because Suwa gave birth to the first truly in-house luxury Seiko, the Lord Marvel, in 1958. It's also where Grand Seiko started, and icons like their first automatic chronograph was developed. But most world-changing of all, the first quartz watch, the Asteron 35SQ in 1969. Now, if you missed my previous deep dives on the history of Seiko, these competing factories were set up deliberately as a way to promote an inter-brand rivalry in hopes of creating watches so good it could finally compete with the Swiss and beat them at their own game, and Caspita did it work.
Some watches are made to last only as long as they're fashionable. Seiko watches are designed to withstand the ravages of both time and fashion. Someday, perhaps, all watches will be made this way.
Transforming Seiko from a Japanese domestic-only underdog to a world-conquering powerhouse, eventually bringing the entire industry to its knees. And that's kind of the problem standing so tall. Inevitably, some amazing gems get lost in its shadow. Right, here we go. So, I'll do a knife check. Got the old lion steel there from the region of Italy where I was raised when I was a little kid. So this is a fantastic titanium knife. Done a whole video about it. Shout out to my good friend Epic Snuggle Bunny, who gifted me this amazing piece of Italian-made modernity. Love it. Anyway, talking of modernity, let's make the first incision. I didn't have any intention to buy this, famous last words, but I just came across this design and I just couldn't resist it. Oh wow, the old Seiko box. Look at that. I haven't never seen one of these before, so this is from a totally different era. Drum roll, please. Oh, look at that. That's crazy. That is nuts. Pazzesco, ragazzi, pazzesco. Look at that dial. It's a manual wind from the 70s. And we'll get into all the meanings of this really incredible, not hidden, but lost, shall we say, to the mainstream, signed Seiko there. We've got the applied Seiko logo. Ooh, that does feel good. The pattern is so crazy, my camera is having a hard time focusing on it. Love these beveled edges and this incredible design. We'll get into all of that. You're certainly not going to see one of these about. Let's give it 24 hours to see how it performs. Now regarding the Squale, I tried to send it back. It didn't get to the seller. He said he was out 3 times, 3 attempts, failed every time, then went back to FedEx, waited for him to pick it up. He claimed he couldn't, by which time another week has gone past. Then he said, oh, send it another way, outside of the eBay system. Of course, I'm not falling for that. Big lesson to be learnt there. So I had to go through eBay again, try a second attempt at sending it back. Finally, it got back to him. I did get refunded. eBay did take my side, but you know, a month has been wasted. And yeah, a few people said in the comments, oh, with the screws on the bezel, you could have loosened it. Did you try that? Of course I tried that. It doesn't matter. It's not as listed. That bezel should be functional. It didn't move. I tried those little adjustable screws. Now a few people said that I could have fixed it, I'd be paying extra, and also I don't know what the condition is inside. You know, at 2018 there's not going to be that much water damage, but still. Anyway, I'm going to sell the forged carbon, the T183, because now with the MRWs I have a blacked out watch. It's kind of overlap and I don't want to have too many Squale. The nice guy I am, I just had it serviced. Paid for new gaskets, pressure tested, complete once over the movement. Had to fix the screw. There was something slightly off with the screw, the crown, how it threaded. Wasn't too happy with that. That's what you're supposed to do, because I've owned it like 2-3 years. That's what you're supposed to do. I'm still gonna get the Azzurro. I haven't decided to get the Cosc one or whatever. But you know, a month wasted to save what, a couple of hundred. I don't think it's really worth it. But yeah, always go through the eBay system. That is a big lesson learned.
The world is about to become a smaller place. Soon you'll be able to travel a mile every 3 seconds. Well over 20 miles in just 1 minute.
So let's rewind to the year 1970, when the introduction of this manual wind high-beat caliber, the 2220, occurred. The Concorde was making its first supersonic flights, the Beatles were splitting up, while Jimi Hendrix passed away of an overdose, the Vietnam War was escalating, and those famous words, "Houston, we have a problem," tentatively echoed around the world. The early 70s was a tumultuous time, to say the least, but it was also arguably one of the most influential periods of change. And naturally, art, style, and therefore watch design reflected this. With the ending of the curvier MCM-dominated 60s, the pendulum swung very much the other way, to a more aggressive, angular aesthetic, with a concrete vision of the future dictating the landscape, as brutalism was about to reach its dystopian zenith, with the likes of Denis Lasden, Erno Goldfinger, Paul Rudolph, and William Pereira, to name a few. This coincided with a cultural shift from flower power to a more go-ahead, make my day sensibility, during a decade that culminated with the start of the retro-futurist-styled Star Wars and Alien franchises. Brutalism was an architectural dictum characterized by minimalist elemental construction as decorative design, and often abstractly, to the point of absurdity, as we see so evidently here.
How does an idiom that's made for war adapt to peace? Readily. The architecture of National Socialist fortifications made for the pedigree Second World War proved to have multitudinous uses in the Cold War. The future was almost upon us. It's just over there, mate.
Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
This proprietary made 2220 caliber is hour and minutes only, emphasizing its dressy utility, first appearing in 1973 Seiko catalogues as various disco volante shapes, and mysteriously named the Chariot collection. These chariots of the horological gods varied from quintessentially classic dress watches fit for a night out at a performance of Parsifal, to more Andrew Grima-inspired blingy affairs worthy of a Bond villain that we have explored before, with the British-Italian designer pioneering the integrated bracelet dress watch trend. But then also, most daring of all, are these pulchritudinous geometric variants that look like they evolved from the vortex in Stanley Kubrick's Capo Lavoro 2001. The dial and bezel's algorithmic op-art pattern also reminds me of another rather profound childhood memory. Seeing an exhibition with my father of the Hungarian artist Victor Vasarely while travelling in Budapest. An artist who became increasingly more renowned internationally during the 70s with his visual kinetics, as he called it. Coincidence? Well, I don't think so.
Tomorrow's transport would be powered by magnetic levitation. We would soon feed ourselves on a regime of capsules and pills, emigrate to space colonies, never have to work because robots would do it for us, attain immortality in plastic bubbles. Within our mind is an unshakable belief in progress, which would beget further progress, and so on and on.
However, the Seiko Chariot missed mainstream success for reasons I can only speculate. But if I was to guess, I suspect it's the Swiss teaming up with Gerald Gentry to change the watch game and thus the desires for more sporty luxury chic, primarily with the AP Royal Oak in 1972, rendering the ill-fated chariots to be as out of date as those ridden by my Roman ancestors. So the Seiko, real success. I love the silkiness of that Milanese, but it looks good on the strap too. If you saw the pictures, the catalogs, just fantastic. I'm gonna go home. I've been itching to get out. Can't wait till summer. I'm in the basketball courts near my house. Yeah, I bought it on a whim. That's the only way you can experience the pieces like this. I think the bargains are definitely in the kind of more dressier side of things, because the icons, you know, the Pogues, the divers, there's so many redials, it's just not worth it. Pieces like we've investigated before, the Sals that we've talked about, the Dolce, ultra thin quartz watches like that, they are just, you know, amazing value. The Chariot, the 2220 based, because there's a hell of a lot more. There's even automatics and calendar versions as well, which is nice because you make use of that high beat, the 28,800, which is unusual for the time. Oh, and by the way, if I didn't do it, wristwatch check, Navitimer, and I have it on the Rios, handmade in Germany, of course, from Holben's. So I'm going to leave it there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Also, don't forget to like this video. And lastly, a quick thank you to Andrea Secco, aka the Seiko guy, for his help in researching this video. And I will catch you in the next one. Onwards and upwards. Thank you for watching. Ciao.